you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Crystal here. Before we dive into this episode, I wanted to jump on here real quick and let you know about a few of our offers. We don't just do transits on here, and we don't just interview people. We also have deeper ways for you to connect to yourself as well as others. Our first offer is actually completely free. It's our free guide to honoring your strategy and authority and tips and tricks to do so. If you struggle with this place, if you struggle with what your authority is, if you're still confused about your type, I highly suggest picking up this free guide. We also have our manual to your true self. If you struggle with the languaging behind human design, if you don't understand the parts of the body graph or how to read your chart, I highly recommend picking up our manual to your true self. We go through all the key terms and ways to integrate this information. Let's move on to our classes. We have a bunch of classes that we just launched that are all connected to the variables. The variables are connected to the 4 transformations. So this is your unique path to your true self. And our first class is actually our determination class. And this class is helping you understand the way in which you eat. It shows you the correct environment for you to eat in, and also the way in which you take in information. Our next class is our Cognition Class that is also connected to the brain, and it helps you understand the way your body interprets frequency. It is your unique super sense that aligns your vehicle. And our third class, we actually just launched. We're super excited about it, and it's our Environments class. This class helps you understand how your unique vehicle aligns to your outside world. It shows you the correct people that you might connect to in your correct environment. It shows you your true success. Now, after you go through these classes, if you're feeling like you need a little bit of extra support, if you're feeling like you want to understand how to decondition at a deeper level, if you're looking for community, I highly suggest checking out our Human Design support group. We have a bunch of differentiated folks in there that are going through the same process as you. We have 2 Zoom calls a month, and we also have a community page where you can ask any questions about your design or just simply share what you're going through. Now, our last offer is our 2022 forecast for the year. We go through all of the key players of what's going on for 2022 through the lens of human design, astrology, and tarot. If any of these offers sound riveting to you, I highly suggest picking them up. You can check them out in our descriptions of our show notes down below. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. We have had so much technical difficulties. We're recording this for the second time. We apologize if the audio is not perfect or up to par or whatever word you want to come up with. We're having trouble with either one or all of our mics. So we don't have
something's happening.
Luxury of time to figure that out. So we're recording again on a different day. And if you're new here, welcome. We usually like to come on here and be a little silly. We're a bunch of weirdos on here. We like to talk human design, astrology, tarot, anything spirituality and self-help and all of that related. That's what we talk about on here. We do weekly transit updates where we talk about what we call the program, which we tune in each week to see what episode is playing out in the ethers and the cosmos. And we talk about that on here and kind of share the energy of the week so you can be prepared. So you have a deeper understanding of what these frequencies actually mean through astrology and also through human design. A lot of our members have told us that just listening to this podcast every week has helped them understand the gates and channels a little bit more because we're talking about them as they're playing out. And that's the beauty of transits, is you get to see how it all plays out. I'm sorry, Leah. I didn't let you talk.
No, you're good. I was just going to piggyback on that and say it definitely is something major. I remember even like a year and a half ago when we first started talking on Clubhouse, I was like, I don't know what transits are. Like, they make no sense to me. The planets, the gates, all of that. And it helps me understand what each of them mean and how I can see it kind of play out in real life, which is probably the biggest thing. If you see things kind of happening, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, that makes sense. And then we do stuff through the tarot too, and it's so crazy how they always align to what's about to happen, or if, in some way it does help us understand things, and they just all like pair together so well, all
That's
the three.
I feel like that's why I love doing this, is because there really is this like common thread that's running through the three of them through human design, astrology, and tarot. And I really believe that it paints a bigger picture as to why we are all here and what's actually happening. And we love really supporting all of the types and all of the authorities. It's important, I feel, because we're living in the real world where we're all trying to get along with each other. But I've really learned recently how challenging it is for a lot of types to accept the other, or
Yeah.
parts of even our openness. Some people have this conditioned sense of what that looks like. And that's where I feel we can get a little tripped up when we start putting prescriptions on certain aspects of each other or ourselves. And I believe that's why our support group has been so great for everyone that's been in there so far, because it really allows people to just be themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a major part, and they're understanding themselves on like every level, and getting to be able to like talk about it with other people has been so helpful for them.
Yeah, you kind of get to see people that are similar to you and then also people that are different than you. And maybe like, your kid or your husband or a friend or a sister, brother has the type that's in the group. And so it's kind of nice to watch, what does my like sibling look like through the lens of this other projector that's in this group that has a similar design as them. And
Mhm.
we're also about to open up the doorway for people that are like, what are
Yay.
you talking about? Because we haven't talked about it in so long, I feel like. But the doorway is going to basically be all of our variables classes, like every single one. Like, let's just say, for example, you bought every single bundle, you would get every single, like, let's say, determination, you would get all the determination. So all of the colors, you'll get all of the tones for cognition, you'll get all of the colors for environment, you'll get everything for view and for motivation. And then you also get the support group. So the doorway is everything. You literally get everything. So you get all of the classes, and then you also get all of the support through our community. We have a community page where we post topics every week. We have discussions on there, and then you're also just allowed to share what's going on through your design, how you're deconditioning. And then we have 2 Zoom calls a month. So that's when we usually pick topics and we discuss them on the Zoom call, and we kind of see how the similarities there are between us and also the differences. And also with the transits, we also have contemplation questions that we ask the group every week. So that way they're learning through the transits, which I think is really the most beneficial.
Yeah, that's really fun.
So we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet with our intro. I know we're usually goofy and we have something we share, but if you missed the whole last conversation we had, where we had some really funny things that we said about our weekend, but unfortunately you're going to miss that. So
Sorry.
sorry, technical difficulties over here. But hopefully next week we'll be back with some giggles. So if you're new,
Yeah.
you'll definitely come back for giggles. Definitely check out our other educational episodes. There's so many educational episodes on here about authorities, about the centers, even about definition. If you scroll all the way to the beginning, I think it's like our seventh episode or something. If you want to learn about definition, that's in there. And yeah, if you're ready to get support on your deconditioning process, go into the description down below and sign up. It's a 6 month membership that you get at minimum 6 month access. You can rejoin at any time after that if you choose. And it'll be a similar process for the doorway once that opens, hopefully next month. We're in the process. We don't like telling you
Yeah.
guys things until we know it's definitely about to come out. Give you a little heads up, and then we'll be like, and it's here. We're undefined roots. Okay. This is just where we're at. We're both mothers. We have other things going on, but we were very dedicated to, because we came back on here for a second time.
I know, just so that you guys know everything that's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it is a new moon, so I really didn't want to skip this, but we were going to maybe think about canning everything and just forgetting this week, but we don't want to forget you. So let's dive into what is going on this week. Luckily, I have notes. So we start off the beginning of the week still focusing on our minds, and the way that viewing our opinions and being grounded in what actually needs to be corrected. So there's a lot of places happening here that where I saw my this past week my mind running specific. Also, we have the ajna and the throat defined. So I'm just like a squirrel. I feel like I'm like a squirrel where I see something, I go over there, and then I see something, I go over there. But with having the sun and the earth transiting the spleen and also the ajna, there was this almost like repetitive pattern running through me where I was like thinking a lot about what other people like said. And I feel like that was kind of like the theme of this last week, and like a lot of people's opinions coming up. So right now we're on the roof looking out to the next place. So for what's happening though right now, have you been paying attention or focusing this last week on what needs to be corrected? Have we allowed our mind to run with the definition that we have in the mind right now with the 4323? Have we allowed our minds to just let those intuitive hits just drop in? So this is like futuristic thoughts, I feel like, happening. We're kind of looking towards the future. We're kind of trying to innovate a lot of ways of new thinking patterns that we can have. So we're in a stage of well, I'm sorry, yesterday we were in a stage of universalizing this expression, and now we're on the roof. Okay. So we were looking on the roof out to the next program. And so what's coming up on Wednesday is going to be a new focus, and it's going to be on resources and achieving success through our material world. Can you be the authority of your destination? Can you focus this week on your will? If you don't have a constant flow of your will, maybe this might be a week to ask yourself, what is my heart actually in? Can you allow yourself to see the abundance and prosperity and realize that it's really all around you? So, what are we being grounded in? This deeper understanding that lies within your natural ability and learning to focus one's energy on what is meaningful. This is the area in you that you will be able to play out in like this dense material plane. So, where is your intuition this week? If you have an undefined spleen, allow yourself to ponder all of those times that you received messages from your higher self. How did that work out for you when you just allowed space to open up for those almost spontaneous splenic hits to come through? So the program theme is intuitive action. How are you going to take intuitive action this week, especially during the new moon that's coming up at the end of this week? So let's talk about that. So new moons are all about new beginnings and planting seeds of conscious creations and also manifestations that we can bring into the world. So new moon Aries might be one of the bigger new moons of the year because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This is where we literally begin season, a new us. Aries is all about the me. This is the new year of the cosmic cycle, and this new moon will be about making a plan for our future and learning the steps we need to take again inspired action. There might be themes coming up around wounding in communication. We need to have but understanding that there could be a potential trigger come up towards the end of the week, or a childhood wound that is now coming to the surface. From a human design lens, it's inviting us to put our focus on the heart. Where are you trying to control situations and outcomes right now in your life? How can you reframe and release the grip with this new moon and plant a more sustainable dream? What said resources do you believe you will need to reach this dream? And can you allow yourself to surrender what this new beginning cycle is going to look like for you? And also for the collective, because this is also happening in the collective. So what Aries does best is consciously create and really allow ourselves to tune into our internal power and reach our sustainable dreams. And we do have a little sacral juice coming in on Saturday. So it's inviting us to, I believe, reflect on what came up for us during the new moon. So where have you been holding yourself back from your past triggers, and what limitations have you allowed to be set upon you? I believe we are the ones that either remove the shackles or put them upon ourselves. It's not really anybody outside of us. They're just merely the messenger. That's what I look at it as. Even the times that I'm like, to be honest, fuck this shit. Fuck all of this spiritual shit. And I don't care if this person's teaching me a lesson. We all go there and we're like, I just want to scream and like throw things. If that's where you're at, fucking do it, man. Like we all like, look at fucking Will Smith. What the fuck did he do? Like that was an emotion. I like, let's be honest, that was an emotional having, and he's a generator. So that was an emotional generator having a reactive moment, right? He reacted to a situation instead of responded. It was interesting. I don't know if anybody else caught this. I'm sorry that I'm bringing this up, but I'm not sorry at the same time. So I don't know if anybody watched the way that kind of played out towards his side of it. When he heard the joke, if you looked at his face, okay, and I'm going to invite you to go watch this back if you want to see what I'm talking about. So if you watched his face when he heard the joke, he laughed. He started his emotional wave and it came in. And if it was somebody else, it was funny. And then all of a sudden in that wave, because he has the channel of mating and his partner was being scrutinized here, right? So all of a sudden that wave went, ooh, and it just like plunged, and then the emotions exploded. And if you saw his apology, I'm sorry that I'm like pointing at you guys on YouTube, but that's what I do a lot. I do a lot of pointing. I'm not trying to be rude, but sorry about that. Anyways, so if you like watched all of that, it was just really fascinating because he was going through his emotional wave. And when he issued an apology, he said, I had like almost like something along the lines of, I had an emotional moment. And whether he felt like he had to do that or not, that's an emotional taking ownership of their reactive wave, of reacting to their wave, right? He basically reacted to his wave. So I'm not even sure why I started talking about that, but I felt like I had to say it. Leah's like, what is happening here? Why are you talking about that? I think it was about triggers. So that was a trigger. So, go back and watch it if you want to see what a 59.6 emotional wave looks like, because that's what that was. And it was kind of brilliant to watch, at least from an outsider perspective. So let's go back to where I was on here with my notes. So that's really about it, honestly, for this week. We have communication focused this week on our love, ambitions, connections, opinions, and also our resources. So that's going to be the topic of conversation this week. We still have the ajna and throat energy defined this week. And so take advantage of any new ways of communicating and a little bit of that sacral burst. So that's going to be coming from the root and also the sacral on Saturday. So if you don't already understand the transits and would like to take a look at them and check them out and kind of like play around with what they look like, they're connected to the personality side of us. And that's where the matrix is. It's in our mind, right? So it's really nice to like when you can kind of see the connection. So if you want to see what that looks like, but you're not ready to fully commit to a specific I guess source, check out Genetic Matrix on their homepage. They have the transits on there. You can look at them every day and they'll shift and change through the day. You can't play with them if it's just on the homepage. If you wanted to either purchase their service, what is it called? Their service. Or I also have on my phone. Let me tell you the one I have on my phone, guys, because this one I actually think is a little bit easier, and I think it's only like $5. It's the Human Design app. I think it's only $5. And it's a little bit easier to watch, and you can kind of scroll through by by the bar. It'll go through the entire day and it'll go through the week. You can kind of see as they're like each time it shifts into another gate or when a channel creates. It's kind of nice to watch it in action. So that one might be a little easier for you, and it's called the Human Design app. So, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. So if you want to sponsor us, I'm going to pass it over to you, Leah.
It's funny because I had not heard anything about that whole event until this morning. Like I'm driving to my cleaning and I was like, what the heck happened? And so they're talking about this. They're talking to a comedian who, it's like a local radio station. They're talking to this comedian about this whole thing. And I was like, I have to go and watch it because now you've said it and I heard it on the radio. And originally I was just like, I don't know, like this is just going to pass by in a couple of days. But now that you've connected it to, some transit stuff, now I'm interested. So I have to go check that out.
His wave. He's and also this is such a fifth line projection for him. Everything that's happening with this. He's a 5/1 emotional generator. 59/6.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
You can interesting see it in his movies. And like when you like here's a perfect movie of the 59/6 is his the one with his son.
Oh, what's that one called? Where he's the salesman of something?
I think, yeah. I have not seen that movie in so long, but it was when his son was like really little. Or I'm sorry, what is he a they now? I forget. Or I'm sorry, or are they?
I'm not sure.
So I'm
but
sorry.
He has all like I can. Yeah.
I like to honor people's pronouns. So I'm not sure. We're just gonna say they then. So
yeah.
That's a good example.
I can kind of see that in all of his movies because he can just like hit that emotion.
Hit that passion button. It's like a passion that runs through the 59/6. Like I have the 59 and Dave actually has the 6. So we create that panel together. And you can see when it's like super passionate or when there's just straight up friction.
Yeah.
It's either like all in or friction. I feel like there's not a lot of in between with that particular channel. Which with the waves, that one's a little bit more mild. Like, I don't know. I don't know if people would automatically assume. I guess he is pretty emotional. I don't know.
I like him though. Anyway,
I do like Will Smith.
I'll have to go look at that clip.
We all fuck up, man. Like we do. Like, especially when emotionals are going through it. Like when they get that trigger. I've watched that with so many emotionals when they get triggered, and it's like, just look out. Like just step away from the wave.
Like that's when you got to step back. Chris Rock. Wait, it was Chris Rock.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, who was it again? Now I'm like, too many instances with people, so I don't know. So, anyways,
Yeah.
back to the tarot.
Back to the tarot. So I was just going to piggyback on what you had said about the new moon stuff, and a couple questions you can ask yourself if you pull cards for yourself are: where am I now? What is influencing me? What have I released since the new moon? What seeds am I ready to plant? How can I help my intentions grow? And what can I rely on during this cycle? So, those are all really good questions to ask yourself, even if you want to journal on those or if you have cards you want to pull for that, because the new moon is kind of like this whole clean slate and a chance for you to really go and start planting those seeds for yourself. So, let's see what the cards have to say. Okay. I'm not like into like I don't know about coincidences and stuff. I feel like everything happens for a reason, but I pulled this yesterday and I was re-pulling cards just now and the same exact card came up. So this is the card that I read for you guys yesterday that you don't get to hear, but now you get to hear it again, which is really hilarious actually. So it's the 9 of Cups, and you can see the man in this is sitting on a stool. He's got kind of, these will look like his trophies, and he is very happy about what he's accomplished. These, it's sort of, for me, it feels like he's, celebrating himself and recognizing himself. And I think for this card, there's a way for you to be accomplished and feel accomplished for things that you've done, but there's also a line where you might go a little too far and you feel like kind of smug about yourself. And I think this is kind of saying to recognize yourself and for your accomplishments and what you've done to succeed in whatever that looks like for yourself, whatever version of success looks like for you. But don't be like super extra boastful about it. And I think there's, a lot of ways that we can recognize ourselves and see all of the abundance that we have around us, and not making it seem like I'm better than you, or I have more than you, or I have, anything excessive than anyone else. I think it's more about just allowing yourself to be celebrated. And I think we don't do that enough, is celebrate ourselves and our accomplishments. And, there's so many times where we really should allow ourselves to feel grateful for what we have. And I think you said this already, Crystal. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but like, we only have a limited view of what we have in this world. And, we're only grateful for what's in our room now, but really there is just so much more when you start creating lists. And maybe you can create a gratitude list of things that you have in your life and just keep going every single day, put another thing on there. Just be grateful for what you do have and allow yourself to, and then celebrate yourself. You can do some like mini celebrations, like, yep, I did 3 loads of laundry today. And then tomorrow, yeah, I took a nap. And that's okay, because that's what I needed to do, whatever that might look like. Okay, so now I'm going to pull one from the Rebecca Campbell deck, Work Your Light. And if this is the same card, and it's not, but I was going to go a little crazy. Okay, oops. This one is Dance with Life. And I feel like that's a really pretty card, the way that the picture is on here. And there's a big moon on there. So I'll read from the book. Okay, life is always moving. If you resist this ever-changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural rhythmic beat, which governs all of life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, your frequency and vibration, is to put on some music and dance along with it. When we dance unrestrained, our spirit takes over, and each new bop, sway, and kick, we are rocked back into harmony with the rest of life. Get unstuck by doing something that shifts your vibration. Put on some music, dance unrestrained, and fall into the frequency of life. In doing so, your body will begin to learn how to be moved by your intuition, which is connected with this systemic beat. If dancing isn't your thing, then simply do something that you would not usually do to shift the energy. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. It's time to shift things up and find a way to dance along with the beat of life. So the action that you should take is do something to change your energy. That's a really pretty card.
I like I feel like she always has like generator cards. Is this generator or?
I tried looking it up before and I don't know her birth information.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like I want to find her on Instagram or something.
Yeah, just because all of her cards seem very generator, and like that's literally what generators are here to do, is dance with life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we are the rhythm of
Mm-hmm.
the global sphere. I don't know how you literally are. And I was when I did a reading the other day for a generator, I said to her, like, our first interaction, I was like, do you remember that? And she's like, yeah, it was like a dance. And I'm like, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like as a generator, you find yourself moving your body. And if you allow the natural flow, because we're really good at just like flowing through life, if we can surrender to the sacral, like that's really when we're in our most aligned self, which we want to just initiate most of the time, because I'm like, I already have all the energy. What are you telling me I have to wait? What is that?
Waiting is hard. It's not, I mean, we
I
all wait.
also have to wait. So we all have to wait in
Yeah.
almost like a different way, I guess. But
Yeah.
I feel like when you have it, I mean, I don't know anything else but to have a sacral. So I can't say like if I didn't have a sacral, I have absolutely no idea what that would feel like. But to have a sacral and then not be able to move it, that's challenging. I think that's why most generators do initiate.
Yeah.
So I'm surrendering to it a lot more now, and I'm 5 years in. So for people that are like, I just don't get it, first of all, go get a reading, or like 20. I mean, I don't know how many I've gotten at this point. So everybody gives a different perspective. Go over someone that resonates with you, or join like a group like our support group, where you can actually have real conversations with other generators or other projectors, other manifestors, whatever your type is, and like really get in it, get in the mud.
Yeah.
Mud.
You got to get
Stop
in it
dipping your,
to
yeah, stop
experience it.
dipping your toes. Get in the mud. Okay, that's
We're here for you. We're in the mud too with you.
we're
We're just,
already. Oh, look how messy we are all the time.
yeah, all the
Look
time.
at this whole situation that happened with our recording. We had to record it over. Like you just, sometimes you got to roll around in some shit.
Yep.
It's just life.
It happens.
So go roll around in some shit this week. Let us know how you're doing. Feel free to DM us, email us. We're here for you. If you have any questions on any of our classes that we have, or the doorway or support group, don't hesitate to DM us. I know some of you have done that already to get more information. We're here for you. That's why we're doing this, man.
We're here.
We're here, over here, and over there. We're not in the same place. All right. Well, we hope that you have a good rest of your week, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
5 of you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Crystal and I are really here as defined hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.